Hey, this is Bo with Focused Engagement. Today is Friday, which means we have another Focused Friday. Today's going to be a really fun one. I'm talking to Nathan Sutherland from Sponsored, but it's SPN SRD, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and thanks for clarifying that. I have
And I actually, when I first talked to him, I was emailing him, I thought, what is SPN SRD? Well, what I'm excited about is, as anybody that's watched any of my videos knows, I'm an advocate of local businesses, and that's who I'd like to talk to on these Focus Fridays, and I like to find out how it is that they market against large competitors. Well, what Nathan has developed is a platform that helps local businesses compete online, which is critical now because even as a local business, so much traffic is going to e-commerce type platforms. In fact, I was reading an article the other day where 25% of all retail sales are going to happen on an e-commerce platform of some sort. So if you do not have the ability to sell online, you are going to lose out. Nathan is building a platform that is going to help local businesses compete online, and specifically, as I understand, it's competing against companies like Etsy, which doesn't Etsy, Amazon, they're not really small business friendly. So this is a way that we're going to be able to help local businesses compete online. So Nathan, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us about your platform and tell us how you got into this and why you got into this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So kind of like you mentioned, that the idea is to help local, to help small, and to ensure that these businesses can compete. I mean, if we think about it, I love to ski, and for anyone who loves to ski, if we know Rossignol, maybe K2, whatever other skis exist out there. But it turns out there are like 1,000 ski makers in the US. And for you to find those cool, awesome, maybe bamboo or whatever skis is very, very, very difficult because there are giants like K2 and Rossignol. And so what happened really is it's kind of twofold. Number one, I wrote a book a while back, and it kind of like, this is what gave me the taste of the market problem, which is that for small businesses, getting your name out there is very, very difficult. It's expensive. It's hard to compete. So I wrote a book because everyone's like, oh, advertise, talk about it, and it will sell. It hasn't sold. That is what it is. But that always left a negative taste in my mouth. So then I was in the Army. I was medically retired last year. And then in November of last year, we were in Budapest. And my wife and I were sitting there. It's called the Fisherman's Bastion. You're basically like overlooking this giant town square, kind of outside of the new city, so in the old city of Budapest. And there were probably 3,000 or 4,000 people, and every single person was taking a photo. And all of a sudden, cogs started turning in my brain. I thought, wait a minute. In each of these photos, there are probably 10 or at least 10 brands represented. And maybe a lot of them were big brands, but the amount of content that was being created, and I thought that's a unique, honest word of mouth advertisement in every single one of those photos. Why aren't these people benefiting? Why are companies like Facebook taking that data? And then why are small businesses having to pay for it when we know that small businesses, people love their stuff? All you got to do is go on Connect Utah right now. And how many posts in the past 2 months have said, let's support small for Christmas?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, everyone wants to support small, and people take pictures with the things they love. And the reason that businesses can't truly connect with that right now goes down 100% to how Facebook, and I say Facebook, but this really means all of these big businesses make money, and that's by making businesses pay for content, right?
Sure.
So even though you make awesome cutting boards and your customers post pictures at their Christmas parties, and your cutting board is front and center, your charcuterie board or whatever, if you were able to truly connect with that as a business owner, Facebook would lose money. What they need is for you to generate that content and pay for that content, a business owner again. So I thought, well, what if we made a platform, a marketplace for small businesses, think Etsy, but that's entirely powered by the content that their customers create, Instagram. So we've made what's called a social commerce platform. And right now the beta's out. January, be excited. We're going to it's totally revamped. We've taken all the information from the beta. We're fixed all the bugs, and we'll be pushing it in January. But the idea is that people go out and do what they love, hike, bike, knit, cook, whatever. And they take pictures and post them into communities. So we filter, when you join the platform, you have to join a community. And that really puts you into something that you enjoy. I enjoy fishing, for instance, or I enjoy cooking. When you post a photo, you put it into the community and then you tag a brand. I'm going to tag Awesome Wood Creations, and I'm going to specifically tag the charcuterie board they made. And then anyone who's in cooking or whatnot is scrolling through, and if they see your photo, they say, oh, that's really cool, I want it. And they can buy it right there. So they buy the product instantly from the word of mouth advertising that someone else did for the business. And then because that original poster helped that business grow, they get a little bit of commission. The business says, hey, thank you for helping us grow. And obviously my business, we get a commission for helping facilitate the sell, and then the business fulfills the order. So
sure. So kind of like Amazon in that way, except for your rates are much lower.
Oh yeah. So we're
and again, Amazon is not small business friendly. I don't care what anybody says. They are not small business friendly. Amazon is in it for Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
and Etsy too. So you bring, people say, well, what about Etsy? If you think Etsy, and I'm not saying you, but if anyone thinks Etsy is for small businesses, go on, type bracelets, type whatever, and every fourth line, you're going to see you're going to see a line of advertising. So 25% of their content is paid advertising. And if you start to look really in depth, most of those paid advertisements are coming from a handful of businesses. So these are really big businesses that are selling themselves as small businesses. And really, we have 30 some odd businesses signed on our platform. And that's one of the biggest things our customers say is, hey, I'm trying Etsy, but how do I compete with the businesses that are paying for targeted ads?
Yeah.
That's why you join Etsy, is to get away from having to compete with that. And unfortunately, they've fallen into the revenue structure of earning money from advertisements. So.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. So it's really picture driven, which to me kind of speaks towards the younger generation. Is that who you're really targeting? Is the like the millennial type age? I'm 47. I take a lot of pictures of my dogs, but I don't take a lot of pictures outside of that, and I don't really share any of them. So who are you targeting as far as, obviously businesses, but as far as the individuals that are going to be taking these pictures and promoting this content, do you have a target age that you're working on, or what are you doing there?
Yeah. So no, that makes, so as you said, businesses, really it's small businesses who make a very unique product. Make their own product. Sorry. I mean, but small business who makes their own product. When it comes to users, it's really someone who currently uses social media and posts. Someone who supports small businesses, and someone who doesn't mind buying from what they see in a post. And so really what that comes down to is about like the 16 to 36-year-old demographic. That being said, there's sort of a gap, and you fall in it. And then you get into the sort of like late 50s to 70s demographic.
More the baby boomer type generation.
Yeah, they have phones and they have time, and they're kind of sitting there scrolling. So those are purchasers, right? They might not be posting photos, but those are people who are going to be looking, using, taking their time. And so I think that as we'll see probably the same change that we do in internet usage and whatnot, that it's sort of kind of this younger, and then it's going to eventually get older and older, especially as we age out and whatnot. But
yeah. Well, and what's interesting to me is, as a digital marketer, I talk social media a lot. And the reason why, for local businesses, the reason why we talk social media is really more of the social proof of your product. You want to have people see your product being used in everyday environments. And I know you say you're not a social media platform, but really it's going to accomplish that same thing. Is it's going to be that social proof that, hey, here's this product and here's somebody using it and loving it and talking about it, raving about it. And it really drives our desire to want to purchase that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I say we're not a social media platform, that's more of the idea is that we do things entirely differently, right? So again, going back to that, social media platforms earn their revenue from paid advertising and how many things you see, right? If you see an ad, a business pays. If an ad is even loaded in on your page, the business pays. And by changing that revenue structure, like I say, I like to call it a social commerce, because we're not really the way you use the platform is completely differently, but it is indeed social in that you're posting and you're sharing. If we go back to that community thing, it's kind of like a Facebook group, but it's something where I like hiking. I'm going to click in there. I'm going to see what people are doing with hiking, whether it's around the world or, in my yard, whatever it may be. I'm going to see what they're doing, and I'm going to learn
whatever new equipment they may be using, what backpack or what water or camel, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I get to see.
And the products are tagged, right? That's kind of what you're saying, is the products are actually tagged so they can click on it and actually purchase it.
Yeah. So one of the things when I started creating this is I looked at the problems of So again, sort of taking that marketplace and social platform, and I looked at both problems, and we kind of discussed the social issues, but the marketplace issues are difficulty to purchase, right? So even if, you mentioned small businesses getting that sort of proof of usage out, but by and large, even if a small business has an Instagram account and they tag products, and even if they do use Instagram Shops, which is a little bit clunky, you're still at about 7 clicks to be able to put in credit card information. Yeah, which is insane. So I thought, well, what if we sort of took that page out of Amazon, where it's a very quick purchase process? Okay, can't call it 1 click, but essentially 1 click. And then what if we made it so that, what's the other issue? So sorry, the other issue with marketplaces is shopping carts. So most people, 73% of shopping carts go unfulfilled. Yeah. So I thought, well, what if we get rid of it, right? What if we make it so that when you see something, you decide to buy it and you buy it right then, if you want it. And then we do have a little bit of reminders so you can't accidentally make a purchase. But the goal is that it shouldn't be 7 clicks. It shouldn't even be 4. Yeah. 2 maybe in today's age. And so,
purchase this product, and are you sure you want to purchase this product?
And that comes down to a totally other thing that why. So the question, why isn't Facebook doing this? Why isn't Instagram? Let's go back again to the revenue structure. What do you pay for when you put a Facebook advertisement? Views, impressions, link clicks. So they don't want you to be able to buy something right away because they wouldn't earn money. They need you to click on the link and go to the business's website and buy it. So it goes back to the revenue structure.
Now, Facebook has just recently, I think in May, they did create a new Facebook merchant service. And I've been experimenting it with a few of my clients where in theory, there's 2 ways you could check out. You can, so you create a video, you tag the product, when that product is clicked, it can either go to your website or you can actually do a purchase through Facebook. Now, I have not had any clients do the Facebook part, so I don't know how many clicks it is. And I agree with you 100%. It has to be as easy as possible. Otherwise, people drop off. So I will tell you that clicking from a video tag product into the website has yet to actually convert into a sale for the reasons that you're talking about, that there's just too many.
Yeah, too many clicks. Card, and then you have to put in your credit card. Yeah. And so I've played with Facebooks, I've played with Instagrams, and what these businesses are trying to do right now is they're trying to solve this social commerce issue. But the hard part again is, they're big company, Facebook publicly traded, so they can't really do a total change of structure. Yeah. And it's my theory that the only way to solve the issue is to change the structure. And that's what I've done. And I've said, okay, well, let's just change the structure entirely and let's encourage this content. Because like you were saying, even if though you can tag a product, that's the business doing it. And so, and that goes into really how I'm trying to help small businesses in many ways. But one of the big ones is, why do you have to spend your time creating, you know, some marketers might say 50 pieces of content a week. Some might say 30, whatever the number is. Why? Big businesses use advertisement to introduce new products. Small businesses need to grow, and it's my belief that growth is the best way to do it is word of mouth, and it's to make it where people who purchased your product and who love your product grow it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and we were talking a little bit earlier. That's what happens in real life, right?
Yeah.
You know, we redid our yard while I was been working on Sponsored, but so back during the beginning of COVID, and we finished it up. It was kind of right before, I guess, COVID really got crazy, and we had purchased this big umbrella, like a yard umbrella. And a neighbor came over, asked us where we got it, told her Home Depot, and then a couple months later, we saw it in her yard. And I asked the exact same umbrella, and she said, "Oh, I went and bought it that day." And this was a validation of what I've been working on, right? So I said,
well, absolutely. What
made you buy it? Oh, well, your yard looked pretty and you'd spent time on it. Okay. So why did that make you buy the umbrella? Well, I figured you probably researched it. We didn't.
So you did the work and she took the advantage of it.
Theoretically, yeah. And that's what happens in real life. And she went and bought it that day. And so what I want to do is make it so that small businesses, because we know all small businesses, I almost have never purchased a product from a small business that I haven't liked. You know, you might purchase something from a big business and say, I don't know, this could be better. But when you purchase from a small business, even if like the wood finish is a little bit off, you're still so happy. At least I am.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about others, but so that's really what I want to do.
Well, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the buyer's funnel. Last year, there's a company called HubSpot, and they actually changed that funnel, the theory of the funnel, to what they call a flywheel. And the reason why is because one of the biggest things that they push, and that we as marketers push, is once that person purchased the product, you want to turn them into an advocate. You want to, you know, you email them and say, "Hey, will you review this product? Will you, you know, if it's a service, will you tell your friends about this service?" You know, that is exactly what we try to do as marketers. And here's the thing, you know, what you're doing almost takes away from what we're doing, because in order to do it on traditional platforms, Facebook, Google, even email, you normally have to hire a marketer like me, because it is difficult to do. Even the Facebook merchant, you can throw products up one at a time, but if you have hundreds of products, you need to create you can actually create a link from your e-commerce site into it so that it automatically updates. And you can do it on your own, but it's hard to do. So that's really why we exist as marketers, is to do the job that you're saying you're going to be able to do without the digital marketer, you know, behind it, because the individual is the one that's going to be creating that content and promoting it, really, and getting paid for it, which is just absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you. I will say it won't get rid of your job. No.
Fortunately, there's still plenty to do, even with the platform like this.
I plan to entirely enhance your job, actually. And that comes from the fact that, as you mentioned, you do all that work, and that's difficult work to do. But I mean, I guess if I could ask you a question, if someone comes to you as a brand new business, I don't know what you typically say. I know what most marketers say, and that's, well, you got to get something first. Like, I can't, you as a marketer don't know who to advertise without something. And that's really where Sponsored comes in, is because the user gets to decide how things, or because the customer gets to decide what community it's going into. We're creating this list of data for the businesses of, my customers share the product this way, which means they're using it, which is, so more importantly, is they're using it this way.
Sure. Yes.
Because that's the most, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you look at Theragun, right? they've made some horrible mistakes in their advertising recently. I don't know how many millions of dollars they're spending on their ad budget, but everyone I've talked to has seen a Theragun ad, and they were advertising to fly fishermen as keeping the Theragun in your fly bag and pulling it out on the river and using it. I'm a pretty active fly fisherman. I cannot think of a single person who would do that. You might use it after the river with a beer in your hand, but I don't think that you're going to use it on the river. And that's really where we aim, to help these businesses, because in the end, we do encourage, like, huge growth will come from being able to target a lot more people.
Yeah.
For a business, that is.
Well, and we talk a lot about what's called omnichannel marketing, right? Mm-hmm. And this really kind of builds into that omnichannel concept. And you don't want to just be one place. You want to. I've said many times in my videos, there's a quote that I love that is the definition of customer engagement, which is customer engagement is the ongoing interactions between customer and business offered by the business, but chosen by the customer, right? Mm-hmm. So if we want to engage with as many people as possible, we need to be everywhere we can think of being. So yes, we are here. That doesn't mean we take our businesses off of Facebook. Mm-hmm. But now we have one more way to be able to market. And the brilliance of yours, of what you were just saying, is we see how this product is being used in ways that we normally wouldn't see without having to do some sort of massive survey of all of our customers. And it's a unique byproduct of your platform that business owners can look at that and say, oh, in fact, I was just talking to one of my mattress stores. That's my main business is retail mattress stores. Mm-hmm. And we're creating a new mattress quiz. And we ask all these questions about it. And what I was telling them is almost like this, is the byproduct of having everybody go through this quiz is we start to understand patterns of problems that people are having. Are 60% of our purchasers, do they have sleep apnea? Do 80% of them sleep on their side? Mm-hmm. Based on that information, we can change our marketing model to better fit that group. And that's exactly what you're saying here is, hey, if we see that our product is being used this way, even if that's not how we conceived it being used, we can say, oh, well, now I could take that information and I could put that out on Google and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and even on my website and my email marketing and every other way I market. I can say, hey, look, this is how people are using it. You ought to use it too, and reach an entire audience that you may not have realized you had available to you.
Yeah. And I think, for example, for the listeners, just as like, we have a headphone business signed on to the platform right now. And they're new, they're startup, and they make headphones for mountain bikers. They kind of they click to your helmet, and then they kind of like the audio goes down. And in talking with their owner, the business owner, he said, he did his customer validation. He saw that might be great. And I said, well, what about skiers or snowboarders? And he said, honestly, I just don't have the bandwidth right now. And I said, so the great thing, and he said that's what he's excited for on the platform, is to see how it's used. Because it could turn out that people buy it for mountain biking and that's what they use it for. But it could also be the best ski headphones in the world, or the best skydiving, or whatever it may be. And he can take that, and just like you said, he could either pivot. He could entirely say, you know what? We don't make mountain bike headphones. We make ski headphones. Yeah. Or he could add it to his kind of like marketing scheme where, not scheme in a bad way, but marketing plan where it's, we make enjoy these headphones in the summer while you mountain bike, and in the winter when you ski.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something like that. And he can take that data and he can use that data. And maybe if he does have a marketer helping him like yourself, give it to you and say, this is what people are doing.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Well, and again, the brilliance of that is that information is possible with enough money, because you can do surveys and things like that. Mm-hmm. But literally, you are making money while learning this information. So rather than having to pay a lot of money to get this information, you're making money and getting the information. I'm telling you, you got a brilliant model.
Well, thank you. I mean, so far we have 30 some odd businesses. We have a little bit of a nonprofit aspect too. So I want to make sure that the company gives back. And since we're so much about passion, you're passionate about what you do, you're passionate about the products that make it better in these small businesses, we've brought in nonprofits. And so the money you earn from helping grow these businesses, you could donate. You can take it to your account too. But, we made it easy. You see it, you want it, you buy it. And we wanted to really help grow passion in general. And so if you see a nonprofit and, so when you make a post, you can tag a nonprofit or you can tag a product or a business and a product. And so if you saw someone tag a nonprofit and you say, oh, that's pretty awesome, I want to donate. You can donate to the nonprofit. We don't have as many yet. That's feature still sort of testing, but that's where we'll be headed, is that very simply, like, I see it, I think it's cool, I buy it, I see it, wow, that's an awesome, they do awesome things, I want to donate to them. Or obviously you can take the money out of your account and it's your money, you've earned it.
Sure.
That really helps bring it full circle and everything that we're doing. So
love it.
Thanks.
So let me ask you this. You say that it's really designed for small businesses that build their own product. Do you have guidelines before you allow somebody to join your platform? How do you vet that they are actually a small business and not, like you say, on Etsy, where they're pretending to be a small business, but really they're a major manufacturer?
Yeah, so right now what we're doing obviously is not scalable to where we plan to compete with Etsy, but right now it's really verification. The simplest way to do that is when you sign up, you put your Facebook link.
Okay.
To your business or your Etsy. You put a link that helps us see, oh yeah, this is a legitimate business. Maybe they're brand new, but they have something to them.
Sure. Okay.
As we grow, honestly, we'll probably have to develop more ways to help with sort of automatic verification.
Sure.
Yeah, we're still kind of in the early stage.
Some sort of scalable verification. So that's future problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously on the docket, but like,
yeah.
It's one of those things where we can keep up.
Let me ask you this also. You say it's for people that design their own products, but what about locally owned retail stores that just sell other products? Are they going to be allowed on, or is it really just for manufacturer?
It gets a lot harder ensuring who's responsible for what at that point. Now, you had a pretty good point when we were talking a little bit earlier that kind of helped me think of some ideas to do it, because that's been one of the problems, is how do we include retailers as well? Right now we don't, and it's just because the issue is say I bought a cup, one of those hiking cups that the wine glasses that unscrews and then the stem goes in the glass and you can pack and everything. So I bought that at discountoutdoorcookinggoods.com or something. And then I was tagging it as the business because the business, I was selling it for more money. Now I'm starting to get into who's responsible for what, and then who is responsible for what shipping. And you add an extra layer of, if you had to do that, then you would have to, when you're adding a photo, I purchased it at this business and it's this brand and it's this product. And it really messes with the user experience.
Yeah.
I eventually plan to have that, and then possibly service industry as well, because that's another small business that can grow. Those are a lot more difficult complications. As you can understand.
Well, and you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So for now, if you're a small business who makes your branded product, right? It can be a custom made product. If it's custom, that also presents a little, it depends. Is it totally custom where the price range is $50 to $1,000, or is it always $100 and you're changing, the colors in your name? Mm-hmm. Right now, that's what custom is for us. It's kind of that set. I buy it for $100. I message the business. I say, hey, this is what I want included. Great, let's proceed. That's sort of where we are right now. Again, small startup. We've been operating. The app has been live for 4 months now. So,
I was at a conference once where one of the founders of LinkedIn was talking, and he says, if you have a platform you want to build, don't wait till it's perfect. Build it, get it out as soon as possible. And for 2 reasons. First of all, if you thought of it, there's a good chance somebody else did. Mm-hmm. But the second reason was you don't know really. I mean, you have an idea in your head how it should work, but until you start getting users on it that we're going to say, hey, kind of like what you said, when you started getting users on it, they're like, but I really don't want another social media platform, right? Mm-hmm. So you're like, okay, now I understand that. Well, if you waited and built it the way you thought it needed to be built and had it done and then released it, but it was a social media platform, it may have just failed on its face because that's not what people wanted. So I think the way you're doing it is the right way to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I may have heard a similar speech because that's actually exactly what in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then I think I read, could have been him, it could have been, I don't know, but
sure.
Similar.
Well, I'm sure it's a thought that's with a lot of these larger guys. They probably all did it.
Do it. So, just do it. And then you're going to get feedback. You're going to get, I've had people say, this sucks. Okay, well, why does it suck? Well, X, Y, and Z. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Let's put it in our notes. Let's work through, we've been going about 4 months and we've gotten a ton of feedback. And so now that's what we're doing. We're redesigning it. January, you're going to see something that I think is a lot more indicative of what the market wants, both for small businesses and for the people who are sharing and buying.
Sure.
We'll see. I mean, again, it's a constant process of iteration. It might we might do that, and it might get us to that next threshold, 10,000 users. And then we might get 200 or 1,000 people saying, let's change this a little bit. Okay, let's do it. Let's get us to our next threshold of 100,000, 1 million, whatever.
Yeah.
So, well,
you can't rest on your laurels. You always got to be thinking of that next step and what people are looking for, and always improving. That's the thing, is constantly moving forward and improving. And I think you're going to go. I'm looking forward to working with you. I told you earlier, even after this, I want to get with you. I got 2 or 3 businesses off the top of my head that I know will work well on your platform, and I think even digital marketers like myself can really, we can work together and help each other out, because we can introduce our clients to you, and that's just one more platform that they could be on. And I've already got my wheels turning on ways to help you market it. So
thank you. I appreciate it
together. And I think we're going to go, well, you're going to go far. I hope to ride on your coattails a little bit.
Well, I keep a list of everyone who's been helping me out through this, because it's amazing. I was in the Army.
By the way, thank you for your service. I served in the Marines myself.
Oh, so you're a Marine. You're well. Thank you, and thank you too. It's a great time, and until it's not, but that is what it is.
You always remember the good times thinking back. The bad times, kind of probably like giving birth. You don't remember the pain. You just remember everything else. All I remember is great times. I really miss it.
Yeah, I've never given birth, I guess, but that's probably a pretty good analogy. It's, it was fun, and I got out and I thought, what am I going to do? When you get out of the military, they do all these classes. Oh, how are you going to get a job and your resume? I didn't pay attention to any of that. I got out. I thought, I'll be fine. I got out and I went, oh, shoot. What did I just do? Luckily, I got this idea, but it has been so incredible. Some people you meet, and they instantly dismiss you. You've never done anything before in corporate world. Go do something to prove yourself. You're like, oh, that's what I'm trying to do. And others like yourself who are just so supportive. And I keep a list of that. Write it all down, because the only way that this, my goal is that in 3 to 5 years, when you're a small business, and like you mentioned earlier, you have to have an online marketplace. WooCommerce, those things make it easy. But do you really need your own website? Maybe not. But if you're deciding between Etsy, Amazon, or sponsored, that's my goal, 3 to 5 years. And the only way to get there is going to be with the help of people like yourself, with the help of small business owners in the community who want to have a platform that's really, truly for them. And then obviously people who love and support those businesses. So
absolutely. Well, Nathan, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the easiest way?
Someone gave my phone number and they keep calling me Ryan. I get about 100 calls a day. So probably email Nathan at spnsrd.com, because that I will, it's hard to keep up with 100 new phone numbers.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So,
and they're all, all
right,
voicemails for Ryan. So
yeah, and I so appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun. I really look forward to working with you. If you have a product that you design, make sure you email Nathan, get on his platform. Even if it in its infancy, this is the time to get on and start learning how to do best on it. So as it grows, you will be ready. You'll be one of the best on it. So get a hold of Nathan, get on his platform. Ask him questions, let him know your own ideas on how to improve it. He may, as he starts getting those, I'm sure he'll be able to integrate them. Mm-hmm. So, Nathan, I really appreciate it. I'm going to give you a call next week.
Okay.
But until next Friday, I hope you all have a great week. This is Bo with Focused Engagement. Take care.
Bye, everyone.